आनंदमयी चैतन्यमयी सत्यमयी परमे ओं मा ओं मा ओं मा ओं मा ओं मा. Namaste, good morning, welcome all of you. Vande Mataram. Today the topic of the spiritual session of this morning will be on fall of life. Very sorrowful chapter, of course. We'll discuss something on true life. We'll discuss something, of course, on life, and the topic will be, the caption of the topic will be fall of life. So on life, we'll be little bit we'll discuss upon here. Sri Aurobindo, everything, of course, will be of course it will be discussed in the lights of Sri Aurobindo's Savitri. This is a topic we are going to discuss here on this very bright morning on fall of life. Sri Aurobindo quotes here, a dire duality is our way to be. A dire duality is our way to be. In the crude beginning of this mortal world, life was not nor mind's play nor heart's desire. Sri Aurobindo quotes here of the time, the very time when there was not even the beginning of the crude, it was almost a crude beginning when everything was in a standstill position. In the crude beginnings of this mortal world, this world is a mortal world, Sri Aurobindo quotes here, life was not nor mind's play nor heart's desire. Mind's play, heart's desire, and life, nothing was there. When earth was built in the unconscious void and nothing was save a mortal sin, the building of the earth was on the unconscious void, and nothing was save a material sin. Identified with sea and sky and stone, her young gods yearned for the release of souls. Just imagine, her young gods yearned for the release of souls asleep in objects, vague, inanimate. The crude beginning, of course, Sri Aurobindo has stressed here. Then when nothing was save a material sin, life was not nor mind's play nor heart's desire. During that crude beginning section, Sri Aurobindo quotes here, her young gods yearned for the release of souls asleep in object, vague, inanimate. Again and again we'll try to quote, in that desolate grandeur, in that beauty bare. Just imagine just how the description, beautiful description is there, and it is the meaningful description, of course, Sri Aurobindo gives here. In that desolate grandeur, in that beauty bare, in the deep stillness mid the unheeded sounds, heavy was the uncommunicated load of Godhead in a world that had no needs. Initially, Sri Aurobindo has quoted, young gods yearned for release of souls. Already one line Sri Aurobindo has, we have seen it has been quoted. Here, heavy was the uncommunicated load, that not communicated. Heavy was the uncommunicated load of Godhead in a world that has no needs, of course. For none was there to feel or to receive. There was none, because it's Sri Aurobindo already initially in the very beginning, Sri Aurobindo has quoted here, crude beginning of this mortal world. So none was there to feel or to receive. This solid mass, which brooked no throb of sense, could not contain their vast creative urge, immersed no more in matter's harmony. This is the thing, this is the scenario here in the course of. Then, of course, we'll come to the next point, Godhead, this life and all, beginning, crude beginning. We'll come to the spirit in the very next page here in the course of here. The spirit lost its status repose. The representative spirit here. What we actually it is a central being. The spirit lost its status repose. In the uncaring trance it groped for sight. In the uncaring trance it groped for sight. Everything is spoken of the spirit. Prisoner for the movements of a conscious heart. Prisoner for the movements of a conscious heart where the psychic beings, the soul is there, the psychic being is there. Psychic being, there is no difference between soul and psychic being. Only the thing is that there is a difference is the process of development. Passioned for the movements of a conscious heart, famishing for speech and thought and joy and love. So initially, movements of a conscious heart. Then secondly, Sri Aurobindo quotes here, the second here quotes, famishing for speech and thought and joy and love. This is the thing Sri Aurobindo quotes here beautifully. Then, in the dumb, insensitive, wheeling day and night, hungered for the beat of yearning and repose. It is whole the way told of the heart. Hungered for the beat of yearning and the response, the poet's reconciles second with a touch. The poet's inconscience second with a touch. There was a touch, and with that touch, the inconscience had a second. There was a shaking. It was a shaking. The intuitive silence. Before silence, it is written that the intuitive silence trembling with a name. They cried to life to invade the senseless mood. They cried to life to invade the senseless mood. Everything is senseless, inconscience, everything obscurity, crude beginning. So they cried to life. There was a cry. Initially, Sri Aurobindo has quoted the intuitive silence, of course. They cried to life to invade the senseless mood and to the in brute forms awake divinity. Everything is brutal, everything is crude beginning. So there was a prayer to life to invade the senseless mood and to in brute forms awake the divinity. Awake means the seed is there, it is there. Awake means it is in the asleep or of course in self-tranced or passive stage. So it has to come out to awake the divinity. Then a voice was heard in the mute rolling globe. After that, a voice is coming out. A voice is getting heard on the mute rolling globe. A murmur moaned in the unlistening void. A murmur moaned. Initially, a voice was heard, then a murmur moaned in the unlistening void. A being seemed to breathe where once was none. Already we have known this is a crude beginning where where was none. Once there where was none, a being seemed to breathe where once was none. Then what happened? Something pent up in dead, insentient depths. There was a painting of pent up in dead, insentient depths. Denied conscious existence, lost to joy, turned as if one asleep since deathless time. Already we have said the dawn to awake that is was a prayer to invade the senseless mood and to brute and the in brute forms awake divinity. So here also that seed also there, it is the seed of the Godhead sleeps in the mortal breast, already we have known. So here turned as if one asleep since deathless time. We can't fix a date from the time eternal, immemorial time it is sleeping. Aware of its own buried reality, remembering its forgotten self and right, it yearned to know, to aspire, to enjoy, to live. When there was an invasion, when it was there, when the light is coming, when there is a prayer, when there is a touch, so what happens? It is sleeping, it has forgotten its self and right, it yearned to know itself with the touch, with that calling, with that prayer. There is, it yearned to know, to aspire, to enjoy and to live. Then what happened to life? Life had the call. Initially what happened? To know. It yearned to know, to aspire, to enjoy and to live. Then life had the call and left her native light. The call is heard and left her native right. Then what happened? Overflowing from her bright, magnificent plane on the rigid coil and sprawl of mortal space, here to the gracious, great-winged angel poured her splendor and sweetness and her bliss. So just imagine, life heard the call and left her native light. Then what happened? Overflowing from her bright, magnificent plane, from where it was, there was a overflow. Where it is on the overflowing, where it is coming on the rigid coil and sprawl of mortal space. The space after the overflowing, it is coming to the space which is rigid coil and sprawl of mortal space. Here to the gracious, great-winged angel poured. There was another pouring also. What is the great-winged angel? What she is pouring here? Her splendor and her swiftness and her bliss, because it was almost initially it was very much slow. So the splendor and swiftness and bliss. So another things, just opposites were there. Now itself there is overflow pouring by the gracious great winged angel of her splendor, swiftness and of her bliss. Hoping, why? What is the intention? Hoping to fill a fair new world with joy, because there is joylessness is there, not there. So hoping to filled a fair new world. The whose new world is there? There is a fair new world. With that fair new world, hoping to fill it with the joy. As comes a goddess to a mortal's breast and fills his days with her celestial clasp. Very beautiful image is there, good comparison. As comes a goddess to a mortal's breast and fills his days with her celestial clasp. He comes, it fills the mortal breast with celestial clasp, celestial joy, that yearning is there. Then what happens after some time will go, because time is of course ticking out. So what happens is here, what the new sentient creatures filled the unseen depths. Then what is the change of life? Life's glory and swiftness ran in the beauty of the beast. Just imagine how wonderful description here. Life's glory and swiftness ran in the beauty of the beast. Man, after beasts, Sri Aurobindo describes of man. Man dared and thought and made with his soul the world. With his soul, man superior to everybody, with his, the awakening of the soul of his, of course it is the elevated consciousness, with his, the psychic opening and all. So life's glory and swiftness ran in the beauty of the beast. After this beast comes man. Man dared and thought and made with his soul the world. Entire world he faces. Dared, thought and met with his soul is the biggest weapon, the biggest aid is his soul. But while the magic breath was on its way, things were going smoothly. When this magic breath was on its way, before her gifts could reach our present hearts, our hearts are present. It is there, psychic is now passive, it is behind the veil. So, but before the gifts could reach our present hearts, a dark, ambiguous presence questioned all. If nothing is as usual as per our expectation, there is a dark, ambiguous presence that is questioning all. The secret will that robes itself with night. There is a will, of course, capital D, that is secret. The secret will that robes itself with night. Night is the covering, night is the robe, night is actually dress, it is covering. And offers to spirit the ordeal of the place. So there is a bargaining and there is an offering to the spirit, the ordeal of the place. The ordeal, that is the Agni Pariksha, ordeal. Imposed a mystic mask of death and pain. There came the mystic mask, of course, of the great duality. There is the very dangerous thing of death and pain. Entered now in the slow and suffering years. Everything was something smooth, but things are going complicated. That mask is there, ambiguous presence, questioning all, mask of night. So then comes suffering, death, pain, everything is there. Entered now in the slow and suffering years. Years seem to be slow because suffering is there. So even if the time is going as usual, it has nothing slow or fastness. But thing is that as it is, suffering is there, pain is there, death is there. So still in the course, as if very beautiful image is used. It is going this suffering years. It is very slow and suffering years. Sojourns the winged and wonderful wayfarer and can do no more recall her happier state. Just he is remembering, recalling, but suffering is there, death is there, pain is there, not able to do anything, not to be creative anymore. So, but must obey the inert inconscient law. There is no other go. He has to forego, he has to obey. Insensible foundations of a world in which blind limits are on beauty laid, and sorrow and joy as struggling comrades live. That is living everything with him, sorrow and joy as struggling comrades are living with him. A dim and dreadful muteness fell on her. Dim and dreadful, that muteness now fell on her. Abolished was her subtle mighty spirit, and slain her boon of childhood happiness. Everything is taken away, everything is slain. He is suffering in a dangerous world. And all her glory into littleness turned, and all her sweetness into a maimed desire. Things, everything was good now turning to the just opposites, very precarious. To feed death with his works is her life's doom. Everything, the end is death. So veiled was her immortality that she seemed. The immortality is veiled. Inflicting consciousness on unconscious things, an episode in an eternal death, it is there. A myth of being that must be forever ceased, and such is the evil mystery of her change.